super interesting video back here again. We have news talk. This one is labeled Elon Musk changes the gun emoji on X to combat the woke mind virus. I love this one, guys. So most recently, guys, if you're on Twitter or Twitter, okay, X, previously known as Twitter, you'll notice that the gun emoji has changed to a real, actual 9mm, it looks like, or something like that, like a real handgun, and it reverted back from what it was. Okay, it was like a green, it was like the ray gun in flipping Call of Duty. That's what it would look like. It didn't look like any water gun. It looked like the ray gun out of Call of Duty, guys. Like when you open up the box, the mystery box, you get the ray gun. It looked like that, guys. So pretty funny that he switched it back to just a real gun, because that's what basically, it seems like he's saying the left wing are trying to do now. They're trying to make everything woke and friendly and happy, and the guns are friendly or something like that. So very interesting, guys. Drop a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. I guess that he loves the Second Amendment in America and wants to keep it, so let's go.
Musk, yes, you may have heard of him, the owner of X, formerly Twitter, has announced that he's bucking the trend and switching the gun emoji on his platform from a water pistol to a real firearm in a bid to counter so-called wokeism. Good heavens. Joining me now to look at this and the broader...
No offense, but everyone on Newstalk are just the biggest bunch of betas, man. No offense to them. This guy's just a pencil neck again. It's can we get some actual alpha males on this show, guys? Can we get some flipping real men on this show? County Gaines, for instance, man. Get some actual flipping masculine people. These shows, are wokeness in itself. For those who don't know, man, I'm not trying to be a hater, but News Talk is a woke platform. It is, guys. It's the most woke platform. I've only ever agreed with maybe one or two of their videos ever. It's such a flipping... Bro, I won't even get into it. Come on, let's go.
Evolution of the emoji landscape is Elaine Burke, host of the For Tech's Sake podcast. Don't want to put the S in there, it might confuse people. Elaine, thank you for coming in. So what's going on here? Is this just another Muskism, or is this something do you think he's taking very seriously and part of maybe his bid to help Donald Trump get elected?
Oh, I don't think he takes very many things very seriously. He's just a very online guy.
Yeah.
And this is...
A very online guy. That's basically to humiliate people that spend their days online. But here's the thing, guys. All the money nowadays is on the internet. All the status is on the internet. If you want massive status, massive fame, massive money, it's on the internet. It's nowhere else, because you can't compare a business in real life unless it's Walmart, or you've made it in the iron and ore industry, these old oil industry, super old industries. In 2024, if you want to make a lot of money, become famous, become a celebrity, it's on the internet. So don't be making fun of people that spend time on the internet. Let's just say that much. Thank you very much, Miss, let's see her name, Miss Elaine Burke, host of the Tech Sake podcast. Never heard of it. Next. Next.
Is this something do you think he's taking very seriously and part of maybe his bid to help Donald Trump get elected?
Oh, I don't think he takes very many things very seriously. He's just a very online guy.
Yeah.
And this is something that it has actually happened. Sometimes he tweets things that he's never going to do, but this redesign has already happened. So if you're on the web version of Twitter, so if you visit x.com and access it that way, you will most likely see that the emoji for a gun is no longer what looks like a water pistol. It's a handgun, a revolver. Now, it's not something that they've rolled out across the board on most mobile devices.
She's wrong. It's not a revolver, okay? It's not a 6-shooter like in flipping Hang 'em High or one of these Clint Eastwood movies, okay? It's a flipping, 18-shot, 17-shot, it looks like a 9mm, okay? So she's actually wrong. Misinformation there. No revolver, 6-shot. No 6 shots, no 28. What did your man say in that rap song? No 6 shots, I got 28 rounds. Yeah, so that's not true. It's not a revolver. Just putting that out there. It's a semi-automatic pistol. Let's just say
water pistol. It's a handgun, a revolver. Now it's not something that they've rolled out across the board on most mobile devices. It still looks like a squirt gun in most contexts, but in some it has kind of rolled into the new version. So it's something they're in the progress of doing since the end of last month, essentially.
And his rationale is just what? He's a defender of the whatever amendment that is that we hold.
Well, he has positioned himself as this kind of...
Wait for the left... Wait for the paid left wing out here. Extreme left wing, I would say News Talk is. to try and alter our mind frame on this one, guys. Wait for this explanation. I can't wait to see what they say about this one. Okay, come on, let's hear it.
Of provocateur.
Yeah.
Even though he is part of the elite class that he supposedly rails against. So, I mean, whatever about all of that, he is what he is. But it is an emoji that actually has...
he's one of the elites that are actually for the people, though. Like, he wasn't born rich. You know, he actually earned all his money. Okay? You know, even Donald Trump, guys, was born rich. He was given money by his father, stuff like that. But Elon Musk, for the most part, earned his money through tech. So, he is just a rich broke guy. So yeah, he can relate to the working class and the middle class of the Western world and the rest of and actually the whole world.
Has been the source of a lot of controversy over the years. So since about 2016, Apple was quite prolific in terms of like it lobbied the people who decide what emojis are going to be added to what's called the Unicode, which enables these like numerical codes that every platform can then turn into whatever design they want for an emoji of a certain type. They rallied against a rifle being added in 2016, and
that's lame. Just add the rifle. I mean, what?
In the same year, they changed their depiction of the pistol emoji from a revolver to a water pistol. And then 2 years...
Gay. And I mean gay in the lame sense, you know, when you, like back in the primary school days, as in lame, guys. Okay, now I'm going to get a bunch of PC haters on my channel. Bro, listen, stop being a little biatch, man.
Years later, in the context of the Parkland shooting in the US, other platforms followed suit, and it was just this kind of
so they're changing icons because of mass shootings in America. I mean, this is ridiculousness. What has mass shootings got to do with emojis? Like, come on, bro.
Response to gun violence and how the gun emoji was being used, and these platforms kind of feeling like they didn't actually want to be a part of that. Now, there's other things. So, like Apple had things like the bomb emoji on its iOS devices, but didn't have it on its Mac devices for a little while. So these kind of like so-called violent emojis have always stirred up a little bit of tension around like, should we be having these, or should we be allowing these on our platform? But someone who actually would have a very different take on this, who was against Apple's decision to change it to a water pistol, is the editor of Emojipedia. Great little website that documents all of the developments in emojis. And what he was arguing was that this was actually a bad move because there's no cross compatibility at the time. Apple was the only one turning it into a water pistol. And if you say, meet me in the park, bring your water pistol emoji, it's very different when someone receives that on their end and it says, meet me in the park, bring your handgun emoji.
Absolutely.
And was saying that that's quite dangerous, actually. But there's a very specific use case.
And the thing is, like, I won't say irrational hatred, but I really don't have much time for emojis. I don't enjoy them. Never.
Yeah, emojis aren't masculine. Let me just give you guys a little bit of a pickup advice. If you're texting a woman, okay, never use emojis, guys. You look like a little biatch. Again, refer back to the beginning, you're a bitch if you use emojis.
Maybe I'm just not a visual thinker. There's a News Talk broadcaster, let's just call him Bobby Kerr for argument's sake, who's a big fan of them and uses them all the time and says I'm boring for not liking them. But that said,
Bobby Kerr sounds like a flipping one of those, you know, let's just say female men.
Like, emojis are language.
Yeah.
And language, you know, as philosophers tell us, give us a world. And the language we use is very important. So most people use emojis. They are a form of linguistic communication. So they are actually very important and say a lot.
Check out the philosopher over here.
About the world, even though they seem like this innocuous thing on a screen.
They are absolutely fascinating. And if you're like me and get really involved in this and read Emojipedia and stuff like that, you can really get lost down a rabbit hole.
And you found some interesting things. Like, looking down what you were saying, you said that there's no Hoover emoji.
Yes.
Which sounds like innocuous, but I'm not sure if it is.
No, this really bothers me. There's a lack of domestic tasks represented in emoji. Like, you can get a broom that looks kind of a little bit more like a witch's broom, or like something that someone would use in medieval era to clean up. It doesn't look like something that you'd use in modern day. You can't get a mop. You can't get a vacuum. Like, there's things...
When he said Hoover, who uses that? Just it's a vacuum. Jesus.
Like, I find strange.
Because... it's, I don't know, I don't want to be pejorative, but why is that?
Well, like,
tell me what you really think.
You know, my gut reaction is this because a load of like tech bros decided what gets to be an emoji?
Oh, I'm done. I knew this was coming, guys. Bro, a load of tech bros. Every tech person I know is the biggest nerd ever, guys. Now, of course, you have to have the brains, but you also have to have the bronze. Most nerds don't have that. Most, knuckle draggers, meatheads don't have the brains either. Luckily, we have both, guys. So I'm going to explain exactly what she means over this channel, guys. So she means that because the tech bros are too masculine, there's no vacuum emoji or Hoover emoji for that guy. I don't know what century he's from, but there's no vacuum emoji because it's anti-woman and it's misogynistic. Really? This news talk platform is the most absolute biggest bunch of just, bro, stop, bro.
I don't want to be pejorative, but why is that?
Well,
tell me what you really think.
My gut reaction is this because a load of tech bros decided what gets to be an emoji and they don't do a lot of cleaning up around the house? I don't know, they just have a Roomba or something like that. But there's more to it than that as well. You'll actually find in some of the emojis that have been around the longest amount of time, there's a huge Japanese influence on them because they actually come from Japan. They originally started there. The word emoji is a Japanese word. What we would have called it in English was emoticon, but emoji is completely taken over now. And if you tried to use the emoji for tea for a long time, it looked more like matcha tea than what we would see as typical breakfast tea. So there's influence of the people who are kind of taking control over what gets to be submitted as emoji. So as it's a language, it's actually more like French and the Académie Française, where there's quite a lot of control over the language. Now, obviously, French speakers can do whatever they want with their language, but the Académie Française is the official body that says what is French officially. And emojis are like that because the Unicode Consortium decides what get added and decides what words you use to look them up as well. They will suggest the reference words for certain words. And now, actually, the platforms can toy around with that as well. But the funny one is that I noticed talking to your researcher, Simon, Apple won't give you the drunk emoji, the kind of wiggly smiled, floppy-eyed guy, if you look up the word drunk, but it will give it to you if you look up woozy. And that's just another example of Apple kind of trying not to associate the emojis with some more problematic ideas.
That's fascinating.
Apple's woke, basically, and Elon Musk isn't woke. I'll just put it to you guys in simple terms. County Gaines, look at these beautiful Irish flags, man. We ain't woke over here. Shit, we're awoken though. Awoken with Chris. That might be my new YouTube channel name. Well, at 100k, wait for it, guys. I might change my name at 100k. Man. What do you guys think? Awoken with Chris. Awoken with Gaines.
Just in closing, as a father of 3 red-haired, I call them orange-haired children, but there is now a red-haired emoji, and there hadn't been.
We call them gingers. Gingers have no souls.
I call them orange-haired children, but there is now a red-haired emoji, and there hadn't been, right?
Yeah, not until 2018 did you get redheads. And at that,
by the way, redheads are the elite race, as someone on YouTube said, guys. They're actually a superior race than everyone, white people, everyone in the world.
That point, so 2016 was when they started seeing different skin colors being introduced. You had man, woman, and also person being introduced.
2016, there was different skin colors introduced. What was the skin colors beforehand?
Around then as well. So we've seen this kind of
there was just the Simpsons yellow emoji for skin color.
Of emojis evolving. We've even got different kind of disabilities represented in emojis. Prosthetic arms and legs are in there. So they're trying to represent people and give them things that they want to talk about. But an interesting evolution is how people use emojis out of context, like the aubergine and peach emoji becoming very cheeky symbols for older
I'm still
adults.
confused.
Ooh, I like her, guys. She's cute now. This guy doesn't get away with it though. He's just a woke lefty, bro. I'm just joking with you guys. You know I love you.
When I see the aubergine, but let's not get into that now. That is fascinating stuff, and I could talk to you for hours about what emojis actually say about the world. That is Elaine Burke, host of the...
He started getting all hot and bothered when they started talking about the when they started talking about the flipping aubergine emoji, because he was like, oh, my boyfriend isn't going to be happy. I love you guys. Oh man, I'm just joking. News Talk, you know I love you. I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Stay free.